Hey y'all, and good morning. It's morning in our kitchen. Today we're going to make some coffee cake, and I've got my coffee brewing, but it's Thursday morning, and normally what do we have to eat, Little Music Man, on Thursday mornings?
Bagels.
Bagels, but we don't have any bagels today. And if you'll watch yesterday's video, you'll see that we're trying not to buy any other groceries if we can help it, because I'm trying to save money and use up what we have. And so we are going to make my mother's recipe of coffee cake with one little variation. And so I hope you'll come along and join us, and we've got some help in the kitchen. So we've got Little Music Man and Little Miss Homemaker. So let's make coffee cake. It's easy and good. Okay, here we are, and we teach, I teach my kids early how to crack eggs, early in their lives. So Little Music Man knows how to crack his eggs. Okay, the recipe that we're going to write below calls for 2 eggs, but you're telling us, can you tell us about the snow while you're cracking the eggs into the plate? Okay, tell our friends about the snow. And while we're doing that, we're going to be, hold on a minute, hold on please. We're going to be adding a stick of butter that's kind of softened with a cup of sugar, and we're going to mix it in our mixing bowl. So you go ahead and crack your 2 eggs. Now remember that I've taught you, when you get eggshells in here, you can take a piece of the bigger eggshell and you can scoop it in there, and the little eggshells will attract to the big one, remember? Mm-hmm. Okay, whoa. Take your other egg out. I'll hold it for you. Okay, now put that in the bowl. Very good. Oh, we've got some eggshell. Right there, calcium. Let's throw it away. We don't need crunchy coffee cake, do we? Okay, here we go. Okay, now look, take a little piece. Take this piece, and let me show you, and then you can do the others. See how it's attracted to it. You use it like a scoop, but it's kind of almost magnetic in a sense. There we go. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, yes, come here and tell us what you're going to go do and why. Now, what are you going to go do?
I'm going to go wash my hands.
Why do you do that?
Because if we don't, we'll get germs.
We could get germs, get sick. So go wash your hands with hot soap and water. Hot water and soap. Thank you. We have creamed 1 stick of butter to 1 cup of sugar. I use organic cane sugar. And Little Music Man has cracked how many eggs, buddy?
2.
Okay. Well, you stay right there so you can see us and we can see you, and they can see you and you can see them, and blah, blah, blah.
Now,
Okay, we're going to dump our eggs into our butter and sugar. Okay, we made some changes. Little Music Man decided to pout and go to the other room for some reason, because he's temperamental like that sometimes, so we just roll with it. And we've added our eggs, we've creamed our eggs with our butter and sugar, and so that's called creaming. And we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. All right, we're going to mix that up real quick. Okay, now we've got our dry ingredients, and we've got 2 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour. This is King Arthur flour, so I need you to add pour the teaspoon of baking soda, the teaspoon of baking powder, dump that in there. Okay, we've got baking powder, baking soda. I like to put my things in glass jars and get old lids and put labels. It's just fun. It makes your house nice and cozy, and I've also written on here for the family Baking soda also for fires, so they can put that on certain kinds of fires and also fires on your skin, meaning burns. It works. Now the recipe calls for 1 cup of sour cream, and I always do that, but I'm limited on my sour cream today, and so I'm using my clobbered milk. It's raw milk that has actually soured. Do you know that raw milk doesn't go bad? I've taught you this. Raw milk doesn't go bad, it sours. That's totally 2 different things. If you buy milk from the store, then you're buying a dead product. You're buying something that the good stuff, the enzymes, the probiotics, the healthy vitamins and nutrients has been killed. It's been boiled and killed. So you're buying a dead product. So we use raw milk. We buy it for pet consumption per the law of Tennessee, and we do give it to our pets, and that's how that's done legally. So we have a cup of, instead of yolk, now of course the consistency is different, so it might not take all of this 1 cup of clobbered milk. And again, clobbered milk is just my raw milk that has set out on the counter or has just quote old in the refrigerator. Not bad, but just aged a week or 2 or more, a month. This is actually a month old. It's okay. Does it smell bad?
It doesn't smell bad. Actually, it smells like yogurt.
Smells like yogurt? Yes, it's a good smell. It's a good smell. When store milk goes bad, it stinks awful. So that's the difference. Okay, so back to this. We are going to alternately add our flour and baking soda and baking powder mixture with our clobbered milk, or you would add a cup of sour cream, and that's great too. That's probably preferable. Do you know what alternately means?
I don't think so.
One and then the other, one and the other, one and the other. So we're going to add that flour. And of course you can do this by hand if you're off grid or just want to. The only reason I pulled out the mixer is so that I would be able to cream the butter and sugar really well. Other than that, this would be fine to stir with a spoon for me today. Okay, and I'm just adding the clobbered milk. This is full of nutrients when we drink it or when we use it in recipes. Now we're at the point of putting our batter in the pan and putting it in the oven, and it's going to be yummy. So we're going to make our topping first because it's a layered idea. We've got a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and we've got this in our bowl. We found it at the thrift store. We love going to the thrift store. We are serious about our seasonings and spices around here. So you're going to put a teaspoon of cinnamon. I made a video yesterday that I think I've already mentioned perhaps in this video about using up the kind of the stress of using up everything before we downsize and full time. All right, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and this is from my friend Elise in Oklahoma. And so it calls for pecans as well, and we're just not going to add those today. And we're just going to kind of mash up the vanilla and the cinnamon and kind of mix that up. Do you know there's such a thing as vanilla powder? I have some. I should have pulled it out to save my vanilla liquid. But the powder was good for like a cake or topping like this. So we're just mixing all this up. Okay, little Missy. So we're just going to layer. We'll just layer this cake batter with this topping. And can you give me a spatula that's a little bit bigger than that one, please, if you can get to it. We've got a video about greasing and flouring pans, so I'll link that for you. I've got a video about measuring flour out, sifting and how and why, and I think I'll link that to this video as well. So the recipe calls for putting this in a tube pan or a fluted, you know, like one of those round pans with a hole in the middle. But my mother, although that's what she said in her recipe, she always put it in these 2 cake pans. And I suspect that she did that so it would cook easier, maybe. Or maybe she just didn't want to grease all those little grooves in the tube plate pan. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just put half and half in each pan. And I'm just going to put the topping on top and not layer it. But layering it is what the original recipe calls for. So just so you know that. And I'm going to kind of just let that move around a minute. Kind of cover the bottom. And we have folks wanting to make snow cream, so we're going to do that. We're going to link that in another video as well. Or in this video. It's going to be in another video. Okay. So here we are with our topping. Remember, you can add nuts to it. And we're going to put it in the oven. 350 for 30 minutes. Are warm from the oven. So we're going to cut them up here. And hot from the oven, actually. And we probably should let it sit a minute, but we can't wait. It's going to be delicious. So you would just cut it like you would a pie. Get your hot cup of coffee. Oh, this is good. Now remember, you can do this in a bundt pan. The spatula is probably a little bit too big here for the purpose, I think. Yeah, it's a little bit too big, but it's all right. We'll deal with it. All ready to serve up to the kids. Coffee cake, my mother's recipe.